Hi, welcome to Sparey Sessions with the unofficial WoW therapist. The conversation you're about to hear was recorded while streaming, so there may be some interruptions due to engagement with chat. Thanks for listening. Super excited for this Sparey session. We have some beautiful ladies here. We've already been just warming up, chit-chatting and all of that stuff. I first and foremost think that every single person that plays WoW is very just, very cool, obviously. But these guys especially. So I want to give you guys know who I am. I'm the unofficial WoW therapist. I've been around and all that stuff, and I love having conversations about mental health, about being human, about what it just means to be to people that share the planet. And I think that helps us be a little bit better for ourselves and for everybody else. So I want to have each of them introduce themselves, tell them a little bit about them, pretty much like the highlight reel of what got you into gaming, how long you've been gaming, what you do now, that kind of stuff. So in my little square, I have Aimee in the top corner. If you wouldn't mind going first, my dear.
Hi everyone. For those who don't know, I'm Aimee Lahu. I've been gaming since I was a child. Mm-hmm. So I got into WoW back in high school, and primarily I stream a lot of Raid and Mythic Plus content, and my favorite thing is to get new players into high-end content because it is nerve-wracking, and I love seeing new people coming into the sphere and kind of like beating that fear. So
yeah. Hello, thank you for joining us. Thank you. And I do love that, like, you've been breaking into, I think since I've known you, each season has been a new benchmark for you. Like, you just keep on improving. And I think it's the same for Sam and myself as well. I think everybody here has been like hitting new limits, and it's just like the coolest thing to see. So the fact that you can bring other people along with you is awesome. Hula, you're next on my screen. Would you mind introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about your background and what you do now?
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to chat with all of you lovely ladies today. So I'm Hula. I am the general manager at Raider.io, and I've been gaming all actually since I was a child as well. A little further back than Aimee. But our first was not an Atari, but something similar to that. And then grew up with Nintendo, played a lot with my sister growing up, and I got into WoW when it first came out. I was in university and used it as a mental health break, actually. I was writing a thesis and I needed just breaks, and this was in Best Buy one day, like, this game looks fun, and grabbed it and started playing, and that's kind of where my entire life took a different turn. Yeah. And now I'm here. I, went a completely different career route than I originally thought, and then it pivoted, and now I'm working at Raider.io, and I love it. It's fantastic. I've been playing the whole time. I play both retail and classic right now, actually. So I'm on the anniversary servers as well as casual raiding in classic, and I got back into keys this season, actually.
We love
so I might see up there on the
your main is a Havoc Demon Hunter, right?
Correct. I was a holy paladin for like 20 years. I was really known for that. I actually competed in the MDI at one point, and as a pally and a Mistweaver, and I moderated the Paladin Discord, and then at some point I was like, I need a new alt, and I played a Havoc Demon Hunter, and I'm like, this has been my whole life.
Yes,
I found what I was meant to be doing. It's the best class ever.
We could have just called this a Demon Hunter panel.
I'm sticking with exactly. But so that's who I am. I'm really excited to be here today and chat.
Yay! Thank you. And then last but not least, Sam, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello. Well, yeah, same thing with me. Got into gaming really young. My dad picked up World of Warcraft from Best Buy because he had seen like one of those commercials on TV and was like, "Oh, that looks cool." So we went and got it from Best Buy. Never returned it. And, and I've been playing it ever since. I was literally 5 years old when I started playing this game, and here I am at 27 still playing to this day. And like you had said, Sparey, like every day I log in, I feel like I'm getting better and better because I've found people that I want to see them be successful, but like they
Mhm.
want to see me be successful as well. So we're just feeding
Yeah.
off of that positive energy, and it's changed the outlook of this game for me entirely. I used
Yeah.
to play solo or just with my dad, and now here I am making new friends literally daily and just enjoying this game through such a different lens. And like I help a lot of new players, like my Discord, my guild, there's a ton of new players in here, and I think Midnight saw such an influx of new players that
Yeah.
there really wasn't, like they needed somewhere to go. And I think all of us here, especially these four in this group right now, like
Mhm.
we're trying to help them and guide them through this crazy world that is the World of Warcraft. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy to be here today and talking about the game that I love so much and will never quit playing even if it goes dead.
Also, if you guys didn't know, Sam started a guild called Only Floors, and I love that so much. So it's floor POV only.
That's great.
So yes, I love it, and I think that like I don't know, there's something that's so beautiful about the shared world and shared experiences that all of us like we are talking about. Yes, we have the super fun experiences of getting better and the immersive experiences of just getting into the world and meeting new friends, but also like tied to all of the real life memories, tied to the, you know, the people or the timeline of our lives. Like I feel like it's such a cool crossover that WoW has seen for so many people in being a multi-decade game. So it's just awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. Really, I wanted to highlight the experience of multiple different, obviously we can't speak for all women, you know. I would love to see just everybody put their voice out there and share their experience. Hopefully that, you know, conversations like this will encourage other people to share your story, share what WoW has meant to you or gaming in general. But I have a couple lists of questions here. I don't want to dive in initially though. I actually, since Sam finished and she said, you know, she's making new friends every minute. I think I share this experience with her. She also got her husband to play WoW with her. And I know that like Aimee found her partner through this game. And I don't know your personal background, Hula, with you within your
Same.
marriage, what that looks like. But yeah, I think
We met on Warcraft
it's
in
so wild.
2009.
Wow.
So the original Wrath of the Lich King.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you all played back then, but this is back when servers were kind of like an actual thing. Like your
Yes.
server was
Yeah.
your home. There were forums. I was on Crush Ridge, which was one of the original servers, and I was in the best Horde guild, and he was in one of the best Alliance guilds.
Mm.
It's a little star-crossed.
A little
And
Romeo and
he
Juliet
was,
action.
yep. And our server had a bounty system.
Mm-hmm.
So the best players who were out there was a bounty system where if you could kill them and prove it, you know got gold or whatever it was. And he was on there.
Wow.
Because he was actually the only hunter on the entire server who ever got Thoradol, which was the legendary bow from the Sunwell.
Wow.
And he was kind of just like a little bit infamous, and he became friends with the hunter in my guild. And so one day we're all just, you know, hanging out, and he joins our, I guess it was Vent back then, Ventrilo.
Oh yeah.
And and I'm like, oh, it's him, right? It was one of those moments, right, where
It's that
I kind of knew
guy.
of him and everything. And then he would join our Vent here and there, and he, you know, he wasn't happy with his guild. He was friends with some of the guys in my guild. They're like, you know, just, and there were no faction changes back then, right? So like, tell
Right.
you what, start a new character on Horde. We'll power level you. We'll get you up, and you can join us. And he kind of wiffle waffled on it every now and then. He finally caved. He leveled. He's like, okay, guys, I started a new character. Happened to be like 2 hours after I had just started new alt.
Oh.
And so they were like, well, Hula actually just started new shaman. Why don't you guys level together? I'll bring you through some dungeons. And this is our friend Wick, and he power levels us through some dungeons. We spent the whole day together. He had to go, and we were like, do you want to keep leveling? Sure. And a year and a half later, he moves from Florida to Canada, and we get married.
Wow.
Down the
Wow.
road. We're engaged forever, but yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. No, and I love that in chat Joe saying Amy's boyfriend. I'm gonna say boyfriend or partner. I can't. My brain. But he said that Crushridge was also his OG server as well. So that's so cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the original Crushridge?
Cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Do I know this person?
Yeah. Isn't
Like
it so
back
cool?
way back when?
I don't know if you played. Did you play Alliance or Horde back in the day? He'll answer in chat. Keep engagement going.
I was in Rampage
Okay.
on Horde. Played both sides.
My
goodness.
That's what I
A double
do
agent.
now. I was originally on Storm Rage back during Wrath, so and now I play on like a bunch of different servers.
So my first, like my origin story with WoW was my high school boyfriend got me into it, and it wasn't like, oh hey, here's this game that I think you'd like, which I actually had a little bit of experience with from my friend's house that consisted of me like begging her to use her family computer because that was what it was. And yeah, he was like, he played a Draenei paladin, and he was like, I play a paladin and I tank, and you're gonna play a shaman and you're gonna heal, and this is your laptop. It was like his laptop, but he paid for my account. He gave me his laptop. He's like, these are the buttons you push, these are the add-ons you're gonna use. Like it was just like, oh okay, yeah, that we're gonna do this. And I loved the game at that time because it was like time with him, but now I get to love the game for myself and just like enjoy and experience it, and I'm not just like, oh yeah, like my girlfriend can come heal for us because whatever. Mr. Sparey says this sounds like when you made me play. So I hassled Mr. Sparey for a long time to be able to get him to stop playing RuneScape and to start playing WoW. So he started playing last August, 2 Augusts ago now, right? Yeah. No? I don't know. My timeline is going to be all messed up, but basically the first AOTC that he got was Undermine. So, and yeah, he's been crushing it, but I'm interested to know what the lead up was for you and Tyler, Sam. Was it similar? Like, did you have to hound it? Because he was like notoriously anti-WoW for a while too, right?
Oh yeah, he used to call it World of Warcraft every
Oh.
time I would talk about it. And so we had been dating for like 8 years and would not play it. I kept begging him, like when he would come over, I was like, oh my god, like I have my PC, like you can try and play, like, and he would just, no, it's so stupid, it's a fantasy game, it's so stupid. And then I started streaming it, and he was like, oh, like you got friends, and like,
oh,
and, like I could
surprise you had friends.
I think it was that too. But he had like a little bit of FOMO, I could tell. And then he was like, oh well, let me just let me try classic, and he made a gnome called Let Me Seed Him, and
a
he
gnome.
could not. I know I should have divorced him right then. No, he tried it and he like slowly fell in love with it, and then I was like, okay, well, like now I got a new PC, here you go, you have a PC, like try it out, download it, what's the worst that happens? Like you hate it, you uninstall it, okay? Then he started playing it, and I told him to go Druid because I was like, Druid is so versatile. You can do a tank, a heal, 2 DPS. Like, there's nothing you can hate about a Druid. And he tried it and fell in love with it. And now, like, he plays probably World of Warcraft more than he plays any other game. And like you said, like, it's like quality time between the two of us, too. Yeah. So it's a mixture of that and that he's a little bit obsessed. But I'm just grateful that he gave it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's impressive. I'm glad that he switched it up and that he's not playing Gnome. Mr. Sparey luckily was like, I'm playing Horde, because he had some background in WoW from like back in the day. He knew enough of the story and enough of WoW that he was like, yeah, we'll go this. And his first tune was a Tauren druid named Mucifer. And so I'm like, yeah, spot on. I do have, kind of leading into the conversation today, I'm interested, do you normally tell people in game that you are a woman or not? Like
Ooh,
I
good question.
think
Ooh.
I think all of us play like female apparent characters. I can think of a couple. Like I know I saw Gifo's name in chat. She her like Studley night elf is all man baby. But I'm wondering like what interactions have you had that it could have come up, or have you disclosed before? I know Aimee, you do have some adventures on Moonguard, so that comes up from time to time.
I was
um,
I was actually about to say most people know I'm a girl because they recognize my pink-haired demon hunter because
mhm.
all of my tunes are demon hunters because I have a problem. But they recognize her from like all of her dance videos or
Mhm.
from like streams. So I will literally go into Goldshire a lot and people will be like, "Oh, I know who you are. I've seen your videos." So they automatically know I'm a girl right away. It's
Mhm.
not in WoW that I have to disclose I'm a girl or feel like the need to not or do. It's on other platforms where I have to defend my girl.
Yeah.
So, but most of the time, people in game know I'm a girl, and especially in every raid group I'm in,
Mhm.
they know who I am. So,
Yep. Yep. What about you, Hula? Has that ever come up, especially
Yes.
from like being probably the longest standing WoW player in our group here?
Yeah, actually, so my very, very first character was an undead warlock,
Mhm.
and I was new to MMOs, new to the experience, and definitely had some. I was a woman on the internet when stuff was still relatively new. Let's just say I saw more penises than I cared to. And and it was one of those things where it's very early on where you join a raid group and you join Vent or Skype or whatever it is, and you
Mhm.
say hello, and suddenly, bam, DMs.
Mhm.
And so actually, when TBC first came out and they introduced Blood Elves and Paladins to Horde, I was like, I want to be a Paladin. I want to be a Blood Elf, and I made a male Blood Elf Paladin, and I leveled it outside of my guild.
Mm.
I didn't guild up. I leveled without a guild. I leveled, and I did not tell anyone who I was because I wanted
Oh.
to know what it was like to play the game with
Mhm.
people not knowing I'm a woman.
Wow.
And it was a very different experience, especially back then.
Wow. Yeah.
Because that's the weird thing is women have always played WoW, like from
Mhm.
the beginning. We've been there,
Mhm.
but it was always still back then considered, very much a man's game.
Yeah.
And if you were a woman, you were like the only one in the guild or the only
Mhm.
one in the raid type thing.
The
So
token
yeah, I
woman.
leveled. Yep. So I leveled my paladin as a man, and didn't tell anyone who I was or didn't
Mhm.
speak in voice. Just oh sorry, my mic's broken, right?
Mhm.
So it was a very different experience. It was just I just got to play the game,
So
and
tell me a little bit about the differences, because that immediately is like, okay, well, tell us how side by side the experience is compared, because I'm very interested in that.
so in into it very interestingly, when people knew I was a woman, they were either much more open to if I made a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it's okay, I've got you, don't worry, right?
Mm.
Wanting to coach me, wanting to be my mentor, and or really harsh.
Yep.
Just I had to perform twice as well to do half as to be considered half as even.
Yeah.
Which is of course it's something
Mm-hmm.
we experience across the board.
Yes.
But it was one or the other. There was
Mhm.
no just middle ground of like, hey, you're just a person playing the game.
Right.
But when people thought I was just some guy playing a paladin,
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, oh hey, good job.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. So I would go do a pickup raid, or I would go do something here. I would just while leveling, because leveling back then took a long time.
Yeah.
And it was very much just like, all right, cool, good dungeon, see you later, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, wait, that's it? There's no
Yeah.
DMs. There's no, hey, can I add you as a friend? Hey, do you want to go do this? And you want to like, no, I don't want to get to know you better. Like, I just want to play the damn game.
Yes.
And so it was very much I think the thing that I really enjoyed about it is I got to pick when I wanted to become more social with the people I was playing with.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't thrust upon me.
Yeah.
Where, oh, you're a woman, do you want to be my friend? Do you want to be my pocket healer, right? Like, do you want
Mm-hmm.
to see my dick, like,
The unsolicited. Like, oh, we ran a dungeon.
yeah.
You must want to see what's in my pants, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Obviously, that's the next step.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a different experience where I just got to play the game, and I got to choose when I wanted to build relationships. I didn't have to defend not wanting to build that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say in chat, hey, Hannah said, in pugs, people seem to default to he, him pronouns when talking about others in the group. And 99.9% of the time, I don't correct them. I have the same exact experience. They're like, okay, lads, or okay, but guys, or whatever. And I'm like, yep, I'm just one of the guys, just hanging out.
I hit him with the thank you, girly pops.
Great.
And they think I'm a dude.
She Uno reverses. Yeah, it's crazy. Mr. Sparey said all the guys love coaching Sparey too, and only Vats offers to coach me. So we're very, very lucky. That esteemed guide maker Vats is in our crew in the Sparey Squad, and he, I think, has a lot to do with the growth that Mr. Sparey had. So honorable mention to Vats. Very grateful for him. But yeah, will forever be a lock-in ladies type of gal, says Pixel. Yeah, make sure you start the energy right. What about you, Aimee and Sam? Have you had experiences where, like, especially when you started playing while you were a child, like that's a whole other stratosphere of like how how were the protections set up, if there were any? Was it just kind of like, we're gonna teach you, like, hey, like, just don't answer random whispers, like try not to read trade chat if you can help it, especially, you know, depending where you are in the world?
Well, for me, I kind of had like a similar experience to Hula because I played a male night elf. My dad had made the character and then like just told me that I could play him. So I was like, I'm not going to do that instead of leveling another character because it took forever. So I played a male character, but when I did my first raid in Wrath of the Lich King and we were doing Ice Crown Citadel, they wanted to go in Ventrilo. And my dad was like, you are not going in there. Like, you are not talking to anybody.
Nope.
Good dad.
Yes.
Yes. He was like, even if you just like hear them, like if for some reason you unmute accidentally, like you don't really understand what you're doing, you have no idea what these people are going to say. Because if you guys have ever been in a raid and you hear some guys really getting going, you know, they can say some really crazy interesting things. So I had a little bit of a protection until I kind of branched out on my own in Legion, and then I was old enough where I was like, well, I'm gonna join it and my dad's not gonna know. And then did like get some weird messages because I didn't have a Discord or anything really set up back then. It was just like in-game messages, and every once in a while just weird things, but I just brushed it off. Like, I wasn't gonna try and make a big deal of it because, like, what was I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was definitely a part of the generation of like, don't talk to strangers online because you never know who they are.
Yeah.
But I played a ton of WoW, but I was solo. So I was solo up through Mist and Pandaria, and then I took my college break. And then when I came back in Dragonflight, that's when the first time I joined a guild, because I was like, I'm an adult now. They can't hurt me. So
And oh, how we learn.
Well, look, that's what life is about. It's about learning. So,
Yeah.
But I didn't talk to anybody. In fact, my parents fully knew what I was doing. They were just like, don't talk to people on the internet.
Yeah.
But the thing that I didn't tell them, because I was 17, one thing I didn't tell them was I was playing a Blood Elf Hunter. And anybody who played back then knows that the better your armor is, like, stat-wise, the less clothing there is, especially if you play a female character. And at 17, I'm like, I can't let mom see this. She's gonna freak out, but I need the higher armor rating.
She's gonna be like, why are you naked?
Yeah. So, like, thank God that's not always the case now. Of course, now I'm like, yes to chain keenies, but, like, at least I have the option. But that was, strangers of the internet wasn't really a thing my parents worried about, because I was too nervous, too, because I don't break rules, you know?
I love what Ghosty Bat says. I was 10 and kept pissing a guy off in PvP, and the guy whispered me a lot of terrible shit talk. My dad was like, let me message him back, and blocked him. Oh
dad,
my
good
gosh.
dad.
Good dad. Good dad.
These are good dads. These
I-
are good dads.
I also love what Joe said in chat. Said
Yeah.
so there's an interesting phenomenon there to unpack, I think. On the one hand, there's a tendency to treat women differently because we're taught we're supposed to. But on the other hand, there's also the bros supporting bros portion of things, where dudes don't like to coach or mentor other men because it's emasculating. But we're taught that we should help women wherever possible, which might just be a bigger issue with society. So I think that this really comes down to like the social conditioning of the world that we live in. And I think, you know, luckily we're living in a world today where we're more aware of all of these kind of subliminal messages that have gone on, and some very intentional like gender rolling that has been thrust upon us, as you know, Hula had mentioned earlier. So I think being able to take I like to look at WoW as like a lab for the world, because the interactions that we have here, depending on the people that we're interacting with, they can have, you know, moderate consequences compared to the people that we're interfacing with IRL. I'm thinking about like pugs and stuff. Obviously, the exchanges that we have with our guildies or people in our raid or people that we're close to, those are going to have some lasting consequences. But yeah, I think it's very, very interesting to see how it kind of messes up the ability to just let people be people, because there are the should messages and the should not messages, and I have to be this person or that person. Joe in chat said, that's wild that you'll have to deal with that all the time. Like, it happens to me sometimes, but it's more the exception rather than the rule. There's only been 2 people that have sent me random messages over the years. I still talk to both of them. One is Mad Lad and the other isn't around anymore, but we had some good times before they just vanished. Yeah,
So funny.
it is very interesting to think about just the amount of noise that men and women deal with, like the levels, the noise levels. And I think it's very interesting too, the way that our brains compute things. When I am working with a couple, I usually help husbands understand how to support their wives without adding on more to the decision fatigue. And I'm like, look, everything in the room is talking to her. The clutter on the floor, the dishes that aren't done, the TV show that's on, the toddler that's bouncing up and down, like everything in the room is talking to her, not just you. So try to just see what ways you can make things a little bit quieter. And I think it's a similar thing with all of the noise that we're trying to interact with in game, socially, whatever's happening in our world, all of that kind of stuff. Because I think sometimes it's much easier for, I don't know, men to like lock in. I either see everything or I see nothing. I see like the one thing, and I think that that's just part of the ADHD superpower. Doodly boy, you're okay. But yeah, I just the idea of these things.
Yeah, one thing actually that stuck out to me when Joe made that comment about how, you know, because I think that was in relation to or in response to my saying how people would either be like try to coach me or they would expect too much of me. And I think there's definitely something to that where they would treat me very well and like coach me and like want to, oh, how can I help you? And let me get you some cloth for your tailoring, and very much that, until I proved that I was as good or better than them. As long as I stayed where I was supposed to, being the little girl in the corner who was just here to have fun and wear pretty dresses, you know, then I got that really excellent treatment. But as soon as I was like, I'm doing more DPS than you, suddenly, she's not good enough to be here. Yeah. She made one mistake, whereas other people make 20 mistakes and it's totally fine.
Sure.
And it was like, as soon as you hit that threshold where you feel, where I'm guessing, I'm not a man, but they feel threatened.
Yeah.
Because as the woman, you're not supposed to be as good as them at a game like this, right? I'm not supposed to be able to do as much damage as them. And I think I definitely, as I got better at the game and started realizing I'm pretty damn good at this game, and started, you know, going better and better guilds and stuff like that. As soon as I started realizing that, that's when I started seeing that shift, personally. And then, of course, I'm not saying this isn't everyone. Like, I had some guys who were like, "Damn, you're good. Let's play." Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of people that over time I found myself more with, especially. And I see this a lot, with my exposure to the Race to World First, to the very high end guilds.
Yeah.
Is at the very, very top, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's can you do the job? Can you execute the mechanics? Can you do
Yes.
the damage? Can you do the healing? I literally do not care what you look like, how you identify, anything like that.
Yeah.
And and back in the day, I got to that point where I was playing in those guilds, and they're like, I don't care, just do your job,
Yeah.
just help us get server first type thing. I still walk around with my Magic Seeker title, which is Realm First Malagos.
Oh.
That's that. My guild had, this is back in the Crush Ridge days. We had one competitor guild on Alliance, and the only reason they got all the server first is they started raid an hour earlier than us. We would normally kill it within 45 minutes of them, so technically we would have beat them if we'd started at the same time. But when we went to Malagos, when it opened up, the lag was so bad, they eventually gave up. We had spies over there. We're like, are they going? Are they done? So our guild was like, we're not leaving till this dies. Like, they gave up. This is our server first.
Like, we
So
have to
I wear
get
that
this
proudly.
server first.
Yeah, and the lag was horrible. We ended up getting it with one person alive.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, and it was really bad. And so, but I wear that title proudly.
Yeah, no, you earned it. That is an earned title. Take that forever. Yeah, I think that it's honestly just a crazy thing to hear all of the stories that everybody has. And like, also, I had seen a couple comments in here. There was a study that found, this is from Abso, who, fun fact, if you're new to the Sparey Squad, Abso is my one IRL client that I have a dual relationship with. And we have, we're lucky enough to know, his insight from how it is to be my client as well. But he said was a study that found more insecure men express higher levels of hostility to women gamers and more deference to male gamers with deeper voices. Yeah, it's very interesting. So it really is the automatic systems in your brain and how regulated your nervous system is. So as all of us have experienced, I'm sure, you get the adrenaline rush, you get the cortisol rush as you are pushing certain content in this game. That's already present. So you're already primed for a fight or flight moment. And I think that a lot of our worst versions of ourselves come out in the fight or flight moments. I'm thinking about, like, it makes sense to me when people will say heinous things in game. What doesn't make sense to me is like when you put content out or when you share a milestone. And I'm thinking about when we were putting information out for Sam's women co-stream, and people were like, oh, but they're all guys in real life. And we're like, we all literally stream on camera.
Yep.
I'm so confused. Like, why is it important to you? Because I think that there is this instinct to just cut whoever down a peg because they're like, oh, I need to feel like I am secure in myself. And it is, like Abso said, it is usually the most insecure individuals that need to disempower others in order to feel like there's some even ground. Because it's like, dang, like if you were secure and confident, you would recognize that there's room for everybody at the table. Like, it doesn't have to be.
Know what was the worst part about those was the women actually saying things. Like, there was a couple, there was a couple comments that were like, essentially like, why do you need to draw attention to women? We've been here the whole time. Which, yes, we have been here the whole time
for sure.
And then they were like, this isn't how real women play WoW. Real women do this, that, and the other thing. And, when I come back and I'm like, okay, well what's 3K? What's AOTC? What's, then they go quiet because they don't think that, I guess, I can do both. Like, I don't understand where that, but like, it's worse seeing another woman not in support of something that's beneficial for them. And I don't understand it.
this is something that I've I wrote a paper on this, not for school, just for fun,
Yep.
because we're nerds.
We love
Way
it.
back when.
We love it.
And it's something that we've also talked about in Visage, about bringing awareness to this, is internalized misogyny in WoW and in gaming, and it's huge. It's pervasive, and as has been clearly made obvious, but not explicitly stated, I am a little bit older than you ladies, and I had that period of time in my life. I'm not ashamed to say it because I think we all have. I think the most important thing is being able to recognize it and move past it.
Yeah.
And understand what it is and why it's making me feel and say certain things.
Yep.
Because again, it's something that is indoctrinated in us, right, from the get-go. And one thing that in my previous career, I was a lawyer, which is also a very male-dominated space. And I think when we have these discussions, one thing I like to envision is we're in a boardroom. And there's 20 seats around the table, and 3 of them are women. And all the rest of the women that want a seat at this table are, for some reason, vying for those 3 seats. We're fighting against each other for those 3 seats at the table. And I'm sitting here going, there's 17 other fucking seats, ladies.
Right.
Let's
right.
take those.
Yeah.
Why
Let's
aren't we
all
taking
get
those
in
seats?
this room. Yeah.
Why are we fighting against ourselves for the 3 seats out of 20?
Yeah.
When we should be making them, like, excuse me, sir, you're in my seat.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that we really need to, and that's why I think things like these discussions, groups like Visage, groups where we're sitting together and saying, let's take those seats because we
Yeah.
belong here, we deserve to be here, we certainly worked our asses off to be here, and why are we fighting each other for this small piece of the puzzle?
100%.
And so that's something where I think it's really important in a world like gaming where we are constantly being told, we're not enough, we're not good enough, and we're like, no, sir, you're in my seat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No, seriously, that's so good. No, sir, you are actually in my seat. 100%.
Yeah.
There's so much more room for everybody here. And the lie that has us, competing for this much of the pie is just insane. So leading into that, what's something people outside gaming misunderstand about women that play games? Like, I know we've all joked about this. Aimee and Sam specifically, I know the 3 of us have joked about, like, oh God, the people that I work with are going to see my content. But I'm interested, especially for you, Hula, as your career is gaming. Tell me more about what your guys' experience has been as a woman that, like, we don't just, like, lightly play games. Like, we are in it. We are gamers. We have invested our time and our money into this thing. So yeah, share a little bit about what that's been like.
Well, I can tell you right now that one of my coworkers has already found my content. She's an avid Twitch person.
God.
Funny enough, she met her husband on Twitch, so she didn't think anything different of me. She was just like, that's cool, I don't play WoW. But I think the thing that always made her kind of giggle is that I'm very put together at work. I'm very Southern Belle businesswoman, like corporate kind of. But when I come home and I change into my sweats, I'm in Gremlin mode and I'm on stream, and she's just like, I didn't know what I was expecting. I was expecting either or, not both. So I think it's the duality that some people think that women gamers can't have, that we can be both like stereotypical pretty, but also at the same time, like, give me my Diet Coke, my hoodie, and my dog, and I'm good for the next 4 or 5 hours. Like, you may have to remind me to drink water, but
just water me from time to time. Yeah.
And then also my cursing goes up during raid.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't curse at work, but then she was like, I've never heard you drop so many F-bombs. And I'm like, well, if the tank would just stop dying in the middle of the fight, we wouldn't have this issue anymore.
That was our experience last night. I bricked Sam's key so hard, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're ready for me to stop fiddle faddling around over here. Oh God. But yeah, no, I think that that's hilarious too. Like, because there is the level of like anonymity to some degree when you're in game, but when you're streaming, that's a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
It's like insane. But I do think that there is a little bit of like, there's like the, you know, women, any role that women can do gets fetishized. You know what I mean? No matter what you are, you could be at the top of your career. You can be just, you know, raising your kids. You can just be hanging around, and literally everybody can somehow twist that into some sort of sexual fantasy, which is hilarious and terrifying all at the same time. But anyway, so Aimee, I love that experience. I feel like didn't somebody at church know about the fic or
no, okay, so
wait, important background. Hula, if you didn't know, Aimee
I
and
need some
her
context
boyfriend
here.
both are fanfic writers. And
Okay.
so yes, they're very good and talented fanfic authors, but yes.
I am an AO3 enjoyer. I'm
yes, agreed. So fun fact: before my boyfriend and I started dating, we had known each other for a while through Twitch and World of Warcraft. I had like challenged him as a writer, as a friend writer, to write me a fanfic of me with Illidan, because naturally, as
why
a
not?
demon hunter, Illidan is king.
I'm with you on that one.
So I mean, and then through that, and like, because we do writer, like we'll get together and do writers and talk, and we started dating. Well, someone asked at church our story, and if it was anyone that was my age, I would not have had the issue of telling them the story. But it was this sweet old lady, sweet old Southern lady that would, you know, give you the shirt off her back kind of deal. And I'm like, I can't tell her this story. But my mom was like, didn't he write you a book? And I was like, see, my mom knows what a fan fiction is.
Yep.
She knows.
Yep.
So I don't worry about this little sweet little old lady. I'm like, how am I supposed to expect it to tell her that we started dating through the course of him writing this 200,000 word fanfic of me falling in love with a half-naked night
demon
elf,
man,
demon king thing.
First of all, is this fanfic available for reading?
I think part 1
it's
is
on DeviantArt. I will send you the link, Hula. Yes, I got you. I got you,
Part
my friend.
2
Alright.
is when it gets super spicy. Also, there is a scene between me and Ilisana that I adore.
I was gonna
So-
say it's an Illidan fanfic, but the tension between you and Ilisana is that's
So
something.
we need another 3A
So
read. Who's gonna read it
Yeah.
out loud this time?
We do readings,
Yes.
but we keep it TOS friendly. Like, I don't go into any of the spy scenes.
yeah.
But we keep it TOS friendly. But yes, it is part 1 is available. I don't know when he'll do part 2 or when he'll edit part 2, but I think Sparey might have a copy of it.
Yes, I do.
somewhere.
And Caleb said, "Let's read it out loud at BlizzCon, Hula." Because we
Oh,
had
more than welcome to.
We had an adventure at Northred Live.
we sure did. It was a time. It was a time. What is that called?
So for those that don't know, Sparey was at Northrend Live, which was the community event in Toronto. Caleb was there as well. And after the event, a bunch of us went back to the hotel, and we ended up hanging out playing trivia until like 4 a.m. In the hotel lobby, and it became very unhinged, which was the best. And at one point, I mentioned I was aware of a fanfic of a Pandaren named Manapaw, and it was an erotica fanfic, and her relationship with Gorfiend, Terran Gorfiend, specifically the one from Hellfire Citadel. So if you played back then, you know I'm not talking about humanoid Terran Gorfiend. I'm talking about giant demon who eats people, Terran Gorfiend.
With a giant hole in his
and-
gut, his bulging,
Yeah.
pulsating
Yeah.
gut.
Lincoln Cat, please.
And-
Can we get a link?
I would very much like to make it clear I did not write this.
Mhm, mhm.
it traumatized me so much that to this day I remember it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was one of those ones where there were just, if it started out fine, and then there's just one sentence where it just goes off the rails, and we had Ileana read this out loud to the group. And I think it got filmed, which is, I feel so bad for that.
I have the recording.
Me too.
So yes, it was.
Mr. Sparey says the plot moved quickly, that's for sure.
It did, right? It was like kind of like, oh, there's Gorfeed, and suddenly, bam. It was definitely a thing. And I think we need to recreate this moment
Yeah.
with Aimee's Illidaddy fanfic at BlizzCon.
With
I think that needs to happen.
I sadly will not be at BlizzCon.
Oh no!
I have an elderly dog who, if I were to be further than 2 hours away from him, I would not function.
Yeah.
No.
So, I've told multiple people video call me. I will be there in spirit, but I have to take care of my elderly dog who's blind. So, he being in like weird environments and being gone without me for so long, he like freaks out, so he keeps me home. Okay. So but I will gladly be video called into this reading of Joe's fanfic that he wrote for me. And now it comes on a like his seriously, like the level of like, I don't know, the levels now that we're dating and that we have no issue having these discussions with each other. I don't know if further writing will be legally released.
Because at
like,
first,
when he was,
at first it's just
it was
the
just a
imagination.
challenge.
Yeah, and now it's just like
it was a challenge.
Things have changed. How things have changed.
It was also slightly therapeutically healing before we started dating, and in fact, like, I literally finished the end of part 2. I closed up my book, and I messaged him. I said, I need to have words with you, and then later that night we started dating.
Oh yeah. Yep, literally that night. I still remember when they told me. It was fantastic. I was gonna say, Sam, I'm interested in your experience in the office, because does anybody you know, like, do they know that you game, that you stream? They don't know that you game at all?
They know I play video games, but then when they ask video games, I divert them. I'm like, oh, I just play like Rivals, and I play like Palia.
Yeah.
Like
cozy games.
I send them on a different.
Shooters.
I remember when I was, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be going to like this convention in September. Like, I'm gonna be needing time off. Like, my manager like starts grilling me. She's like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, just meeting up with some friends. And what?
Oh my god.
We know each other. Yeah. Like,
no,
and
people
so,
hear
like,
convention and they're like, oh, is it like professional development?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
In a way, it is.
Learning.
Yes,
it is.
In a way, it is. Yeah. It's leadership training.
Yes.
So I try and keep it like so secret. I remember we had an intern over the summer last year, and none of my social media is my real name. It's all scfplays. This guy was trying to find me, like his life depended on it. He was like, I've Googled every name I can think of for you, and like, I'm like, you can't find me because I don't want to be found.
Yeah. If they know the game, they would be able to find you quickly.
He definitely does not. And like, even if you type in, like, to know SCF, even if you just type in SCF, it's like a college or something. So like, I was good. You're not finding me.
Smart.
Oh my gosh. I'm a sleeper agent.
I have a very different experience currently.
Yeah, because this
Because
is your
job.
life. This is your world.
Yeah. I definitely was in that same boat as Sam, though, when I worked at a law firm. I would take time off for like an expansion launch, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you going on vacation?" I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna stay at home." Or I would just flat out lie. I'm like, "Yeah, might go visit some family in game." And you know, so basically, I would not want people to know this part of my life because it wasn't congruent, right? People don't, especially in a profession like lawyer, you know, people don't want to know that you have a social life.
Yep.
They don't want to know that your clients don't want to know that you spend your off time, rating whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They want to think that you spend your spare time literally just like, reading law books.
Yeah, reading books.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what they think. That's what they want to think. They want their lawyer to be someone who just spends all day.
Yeah.
The case law. But like no, that's not what it is at all. I also go full gremlin mode as soon as I get home. But now it's such. I can't tell you how much of a beautiful feeling it is to have a career and a job where I go to my boss and say, hey, I'm not going to be around Thursday to Saturday
Mm-hmm.
because classic TBC's coming out and I'm going full gremlin leveling. And his response is, cool, have fun.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yep.
it is honestly just an amazing feeling. And where I can just be upfront about what I'm going to do with my time. And it's a job where I get to be fully myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to hide a part of me to present a different part of me.
Yeah.
I can just be, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm still professional at work.
Mhm.
My role isn't just, be a gremlin. Like I do a lot, and
Mhm.
we still have to be I'm in meetings all the time with other, professional people, and like I have to be presentable and stuff like that. But it's a world where my colleagues and the people close to me understand that I'm still like, after we finish for the day, I'm off playing games.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a wonderful thing that I get to be myself
Yeah.
at my job instead of unpacking that. It sucks that we feel like we have to hide it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What, like, it's
Yeah. I think it goes back to what you were saying about how there has to be this caliber of performance in whatever field we're in, that it has to be this like overdone, like upper echelon. I am doing the most and I'm doing the best. And it's kind of like paying for the woman role taking a man role, and it's like, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do the payment system. We can just be here just like anybody else. And I think it's really cool because I am missing quite a bit in chat. So I apologize. If you guys do want to have a question answered, just do the ! Ask in any of our chats and it'll put you in a queue. But I have seen a lot of really incredible men that play this game, that are very supportive and want to know how to best support their friends in our gaming, in this industry, and also just generally in like making spaces more friendly to everybody. But yeah, you said that it's like there's an expectation when you're a professional, and especially if you're a lawyer. I've noticed the same thing as a therapist. And that was a big thing for me with starting to create content, was like really normalizing authenticity. And when I first started, there was somebody in the Noobish Dads community actually that his partner was looking to go. She was looking into becoming a therapist and also wanted to stream. And she's like, well, what do you do? Like, are you afraid that your clients are going to see your content? And that's happened. Obviously, one is my mod. One of my young adult clients just recently found the content and has been interacting and stuff with me. But I'm like, you just are the same person in every room, like you are this person here. And I have the luxury because I have virtually nothing to lose. Like, I've been in, like, when I worked in group homes and detention centers and stuff with teens, I was not as outright with what I disclosed about my life, but I'm very privileged now, as a contracted private practice therapist, that if people don't like me, they can find another therapist. Like, if my colleagues don't like me, they don't have to talk to me. Like, it's fine. Yeah. And I think it's really refreshing to see that every single person has their own life. And it's really important that we work to pay for the life that we want, but we shouldn't be living just to work and like put ourselves in that like cog in the machine type thing. This question I think is interesting is, do you think WoW has a different culture for women than other games? Or do you think that there's a lot of crossover, and why?
I mean, so I played Destiny. So full disclosure, when I was taking a break, I was married to someone who hated WoW and deleted my launcher off of the PC twice during Legion. So that's the reason why I didn't come back during Legion for Illidaddy. But we were a big Destiny house. Yeah, I know it was. That may not have been the the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was definitely one of the straws on the camel's back.
It was one of the
But-
contributing factors.
Yes, but we were a big Destiny rating household.
Mhm.
Like massive Destiny rating household, and Halo too. So we were a Bungie household.
Caleb
Like,
said, imagine
and
being jealous
women-
of a pixelated night elf.
I mean, I'm still slightly jealous of Sylvanas, but for other reasons, and we're not going to get into that. That's not that type of therapy session. But so in the FPS world, women can't play FPS well.
Mm.
And we would follow a lot of Major League Gaming shows, like especially with Halo, and there was an all-girl Halo team, and no matter how good they did, they
Mhm.
were still treated like dog shit, because in the FPS world, women don't do well. For some reason, and they are never treated as nicely as I have been treated in WoW. Even the meanest dudes in WoW
Mhm.
are so much nicer than the FPS world.
Yeah.
Like FPS world, they treat like it's very sexist to a point where it's like you don't even belong near a computer, go back to the kitchen and make a sandwich kind of like vibe. Whereas here they're like, oh, go back to playing your T-Mog thing. At least I'm playing WoW with their insults. Like
Yeah. Go back to
But
your
I
house.
think- yeah, now it's go back to your WoW house. It's like, okay, I will.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
And even in the WoW community, I've experienced this mostly in like the top, and we've kind of already gone over how the top players are usually your nicest people.
Mhm.
That's not the case in the FPS world. They are super toxic and mean, period. But in WoW, if like, let's say Caleb, I know for a fact, is Mythic Raider, and he
Mhm.
doesn't care. He's just here to have fun
Yep.
and, get the job done, and super helpful and nice and kind. And every single person that I've met that's in a high competitive guild, super nice, don't care, willing to help you, give you pointers. Joe's one, although he's a healer, he doesn't know. Well, he knows DPS. What am I talking about? I just would never heal him in a dungeon because he stands in more stuff than I do now. But I think he does it to punish me for all the stuff I stand in. But they're far more willing to help.
Mhm.
Don't you? They are far more willing to help and be accepting in the WoW community than in most any other video game community that I've ever been a part of, especially the FPS community, which is one of the reasons why I don't play Marvel Rivals, even though it's not really FPS, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
That game is toxic.
I was just gonna say, like, Rivals is essentially the same.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like and Tyler will attest to this, like, I try and stay quiet as much as possible, because like the second they hear a woman's voice, like, they will throw sometimes, like, just fuck up your gameplay, mess up your gameplay
You're good.
entirely. And it's like in WoW, like, honestly, the biggest difference I've noticed is WoW, it's just like stupid things. It's like, oh, you're a bad player, you suck at the game, goodbye, go back to your house. In those types of games, they're coming for you. Like, it's every insult under the sun. Like, brain dead, stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, like, all the, obviously they don't know these things, but they really go for the jugular in those games. And even if you have thick skin, eventually it wears down, and it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna step away. And honestly, I don't like the person I become when I play those games. Like, if I play for too long, I start to become that person, and I'm like, I need to step back, because like this is changing me into a different person that I don't want to be. So WoW is definitely better.
Yeah, that makes me think of me at like hockey games or like live music. I just say I'm genuinely like an armpit of a human being. I'm my worst self when I can feel the electricity of the mob mentality, and I'm just like, ooh, I just gotta rage. Like, I keep it all inside all the time. So this is the time that I get to let it out. But yeah,
I don't play any FPS games.
yeah.
Which is probably a good thing.
Smart.
The main reason being is I'm really bad at them.
Mhm.
And if I pick up a game and I'm not instantly amazing, I have no interest in it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I mean, I'm like, I mean, that's not entirely true, but I get frustrated because
Yeah.
I'm not doing well, and I'm like, then I don't have fun. The only other game that I've really played, I play a lot of solo games, just to kill time. But the only other game that I've really played that's kind of cooperative is League of Legends. And I'm sure you've heard stories of League of Legends community being pretty toxic.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I personally haven't experienced that much because I don't play high level.
Mhm.
I don't actually really play ranked. I will just, play here and there and stuff like that. The one thing that I found very interesting when you compare WoW and League is women have roles.
Mhm.
In League, you're support main, right? And in WoW, you're a healer, right? You are just
Mhm.
assumed to be in the caretaker role because you are in fact a woman.
Yep.
And it's like, no, I'm gonna play Nasus top. Sorry, you're on
Mhm.
your own down there. Or no, I'm gonna play Demon Hunter and I'm gonna just
Yep.
I'm only here to do damage type thing. Or I'm
Yep.
gonna tank, right?
Yep.
Honestly, shout out to the women tanks out there. Like that's a role that is tough
Mhm.
and is very often like Vitamin P works at Radar.io and she is a phenomenal player,
Mhm.
really good tank. She tanks high keys, always has. And I can't tell you how many times she's had a story where she'll take a key, they're like, hey, great job, and then they find out
Mhm.
it's a woman, like, what? A
What?
woman just tanked my key? What? And it's
Imagine.
yeah, it's like,
God.
but she did it really well. What?
Yeah.
And it's just this like, why is that so surprising to you?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's one of those things where I've found that to be an interesting where
Mhm.
you're allowed to play these games, unlike the FPS where you like Sam you said, and I've
Mhm.
seen there's a streamer, I don't know what her name is, but she'll put out clips of her content where the men are just disgustingly volatile as soon as they find out she's a woman, but then she
Yep.
kills them all and it's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, and
Yes.
but like they will intentionally sabotage their own gameplay and their own success rate just to bring her down.
Mhm.
Whereas in games in WoW and League, I think one of the differences is it's more of a cooperative game. Like we're not playing against each
Mhm.
other unless you're PvPing, which is another realm entirely. But we're working together to do something. And they're like, okay, fine, you can come along and be part of the team, but you have your quarter.
Mhm.
Heal me type thing,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's kind of in other games that's kind of where I've seen that weird dichotomy is
Mhm.
you can play the game with me, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's the
Forget
nice
about
thing
anything
with
else.
Joe being the healer in our relationship. Joe's
Mhm.
always been the healer, and I've always been the DPS. So we get
Mhm.
the fun dynamic of me being the problem child, especially being a demon hunter.
Right.
With ADHD, so
Yep.
he's always got to make sure I take my meds before raids so that I can focus. But Joe, it flip flops where I guess Joe in a way is a caretaker, but he's just being a supportive partner. But it's really fun when I tell people, it's like, yeah, Joe's actually my pocket healer. And I was like, and I can never be his pocket healer because he likes to make me realize how much I stand in when he DPSs.
Get out of the fire, Aimee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Amy, you're
Get
standing in
out of
stuff
the
again.
fire. You're standing in the bad.
Or he'll do the dear sweetie love of my life. Your HPS went from like 100% to 2% in 0.2 seconds. What happened there?
If you're gonna stand in
Oh
that,
my-
press a defensive. Do something.
I thought I was out of the front zone. So,
Felrush
but,
failed me again.
I know.
yeah. Well, I see, like I'm a devourer now, so I'm like I couldn't shift out of it. Or actually, shift actually saves me from more stuff than Felrush ever did.
Fox says it must be a bug. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously a bug. I can't tell you how often Fellblade has gotten me into trouble.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
hunt.
goodness.
I
Oh,
have a
oops,
clip.
sorry, I'm back in melee. I didn't mean to be.
Yeah, I have a clip of me. I think it was in Theater of Pain. vengeful retreating off of one of the platforms and fell rushing to get back on, and I was like, oh, I am playing video games right now. I am doing gamer things. And there's another one of the Demencius fight where I did the opposite. I fell rushed off of the edge, but I vengeful retreated to save it. And I was like, you know what? Thank God I play a demon hunter, because I have the mobility to cover for my own flaws, my own fumbles. So all of this, you know, conversation of the problem, all of the conversation of just kind of like where things are at, I'm interested in your experience. Have you been in a guild or a community that has actually gotten it right, that has not made you feel like a like you're sticking out like a sore thumb, that has not felt like they were tiptoeing around you, that has not looked down or changed the measure of, you know, your skill? Have you actually been in a, you know, in a group that's gotten it right, and how do they do it?
That's the only group
Yeah.
I play with.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
No, I think all of the groups I play now, there are individuals in said groups,
Mhm.
but as a whole, the leadership,
Mhm.
I get treated. I think all except one guild or one raid group, it's predominantly men. Whereas in my Saturday night group, I think it's about 50-50-ish. But all the other ones, my Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night, is predominantly men. I still get treated just like one of the guys. They don't care, and that is literally how I'm treated equally, and that's fine. That's the way I want it. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up with 2 older brothers, so I understand the whole like, we love you, so we're gonna jab at you kind of mentality. I'm fine with that. That's what they got right.
Yeah.
And the raid leaders are always super watchful of anyone who comes in who's new, who wants to say something, and then they're like, hey, you know, there's like 3 girls that play in here, and we're like, hey.
Yeah.
So
Hi, hello.
but hello, we don't talk very much because we're DPS, but we're here. But yeah, that's kind of that's how they did it right. We're just one of the guys, and not in like a weird dynamic. It is literally just we'll shit talk each other because we care. So like, and there's no hard feelings at the end of the day.
Yeah, teasing is a love language, I think, in groups like this. But Sam, what were you gonna say for that one?
I don't have like the raiding experience because I never really have raided, but I was a part of a guild for many years, just like a silent player. The guild is Pensive. I don't know what round they're on, but that guild took absolutely no bullshit. I remember I was on one time and they had like a lot of LGBTQ. They would do events for people's birthdays. Like, this was a guild that was like really big. Yeah, they were really big into their own community. And even me, like when I would go to these events, I was kind of just like the wallflower sitting in the background, but they would make me feel welcome. And I remember one person did join the guild thinking it was a raiding guild because there was like 400 or 500 people in it. And when they found out it wasn't a raiding guild, they went on like a tirade in chat one night and just kept spamming disgusting things. And the guild leader reported them, banned them, removed them from the guild, and just put out such a good message into the Discord channel that essentially was just like, we don't stand for this. There's no way that we're going to let somebody like this ruin our peace that we've built. Whether you're new here or you've been here, you're a part of this community. And I was like, you know what? That's like, that was such a shock to me because I've only ever seen it potentially be so negative from things you see online and everything. So I was like, I can't believe I'm part of a guild that's open and willing to support the people around them.
Yeah.
And then now, obviously, I do it myself.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do get to set the tone. I think that that's like a whole other level of responsibility. And I know we've talked like in our group, especially with like other guild leaders, like I'm thinking about like Noobish Dad and stuff, but like people in leadership and Mackie with her group, like being the person that's responsible for the culture of the group or the company, Hula, I'm sure that's a massive undertaking, is just like making sure that the culture reflects just safety and security for everybody, mutual respect, shared, equity and everything like that. Like, tell me what that's like for you guys, because I feel like it's something that not everybody knows how to do right, you know? There's another question that I had in conjunction with that was like, what are some of the silent ways that we quietly push women out, even if we're not overtly hostile, in some of the guilds and the communities that don't do it right? But I kind of want to combine those. So like, how are you watching for that as a leader? What have you noticed has been, you know, something that has impacted you? I know Valk and I were in a guild that was really quietly uncomfortable because of some of the messaging from like the guild leader to the women specifically, and the way that women were talked about. And I'm just like there's not anything overtly wrong, but this is really uncomfy, you know, like this is just not great. So tell me a little bit how you set the standard to protect the culture of your guild or of your company or of the group that you're, you know, playing with.
I've been through I've been in a number of guilds over the years, and sometimes that's the reason I left and found a new guild. I was like, this is a toxic environment to be in for as a woman or just generally. And I would say the first group, so even the guilds way back when, that like the Crush Ridge days, like when I was like raiding really hardcore, where I was respected because I performed well. But there was always this, like, I can't tell you how many times I got asked to help the officers. And it would be like, can you take notes? Can you do admin? I'm like, am I your secretary? Like,
yeah, clerical
like,
work immediately.
Essentially. And it's like, and you know, and that also, I've seen that in the law world as well, like where if you're in a meeting and you're the only woman, there's just this unwritten, you're the one taking notes.
Yeah, get the skirt on
like,
it. She'll
yeah,
cover
did
it.
you,
yeah,
exactly. Did you not take notes? No. Why? I'm like, what? So yeah, so I've been in, yeah, I've definitely been in those guilds. I find the ones, Sparey, where you're talking about where it's not like overtly hostile, but you're like, something's not quite right here. I've been in some guilds where they're almost performative in trying to be accepting.
Yeah.
I joined one guild where, like, in the meeting, it was myself and two other friends, another one of whom was a woman. We wanted to join because our guild was kind of falling apart and we wanted to raid together. And we were talking to them, and like, they volunteered the information that, oh, when we have a trans woman, but it's okay, we still like her.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait, what did you just say? What?
Wild.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, just making sure we knew that there was a trans woman and she is accepted here.
Yeah.
And then you realize as you go through and you raid with them and you see the language they're using, you're like, oh, no, you do not actually accept her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was one of those things. I've been in those guilds too. I'd say the first group I really felt comfortable in was technically an open. Do you guys remember Open Raid? Are you old enough to remember that? Yeah, so it was a group in Open Raid that started an Open Raid, but I joined through a friend. This is back in, I want to say, WAD.
Okay.
And the leader of that was a guy named Chris. To this day, I'm still very good friends with. And he created this environment where it was just like, we're just here to play. And it was an open raid group, so it's like, we're not even here to do well. We're just here to play.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I kind of really felt that environment where I didn't feel pressured to do something or take on a specific role. And it really opened my eyes to be like, oh, we could just be here to play. And it was very much just a casual kind of thing, and there were no expectations. There was no... But he also didn't, like, and because it was an open raid thing where people had to sign up every week, if someone did not act appropriately, he was like, you're not coming back. That's just how it is. Like, he's like, and he could cultivate. And I think that's kind of what it comes to, like, cultivating the culture, is he had this just, like, ability to, like, oh no, I didn't like you last week. You didn't, you know, you weren't, either you didn't play well, you know, or like you died to everything, you wiped us a bunch of times, sorry. Or you were a dick. So bye.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think the virtue of it being technically a pug group made that easy for him. But I learned from that, and then I ended up leading my own guilds. So I, after Tumas Orgaris, I decided to stop raiding 5 days a week. I was like US 30th at that point.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm gonna take it easy. I still want to get my Mythic CE, but let's just. And so I created a guild with Chris actually, and we made a two day a week guild. We're like, we're gonna Mythic raid. We're gonna have fun, and it was very much we cultivated our own culture.
Mhm.
And part of that we were Mythic CE, so performance. It was
Yep.
performance based, but it was very much like I don't care
Mhm.
where you come from, what you identify as
Mhm.
long as you. I mean, I was kind of ruthless. I actually removed someone mid raid.
Oh.
From the raid group, not the guild, the raid group, because he was in the wrong spec.
Yeah.
And
well.
I was like, "Why are you this spec?" He's like, "Cause it's fun." I'm like, "It does half the damage of the other one. We're progressing Mythic. What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just want to try this." I'm like, "No, you're out of here."
No, you're
I mean,
out.
I was a little bit, I was a little bit ruthless. This was a performance-based guild, and we made that clear
Yeah.
from the onset.
Yeah.
Because we're raiding like 4.5 hours a week, and we want to get CE. Like, you have to play well. I think it was a Death Knight, and I think I made him cry. Anyways,
Oh.
but but it was one of those things where it was like, we got to set expectations. I think that's the
Mhm.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Cultivating a culture is you set your expectations, you're clear on them, and you enforce them.
Yep.
I've had min tournaments and stuff like this, and you have rules, and I said, a rule is not a rule if you can't and don't enforce it.
Yeah, it's so true.
And so if you're creating a culture in a company, in a guild, in whatever you're doing in your social environment, you can say all these things, but if you don't follow through with them, you're
Mhm.
not actually creating that culture.
Yeah.
So within Raider.io, our culture comes a lot from our founder Jaw,
Mhm.
and he's the boss. And he has created a culture where I think it's more just he's been playing this game since the beginning. He loves this game. Raider.io is actually his passion project. Technically, it's not even his main job. But he when I first started here, there were only about 4 or 5 people. Half of them were women, and that was great to see. And then I rose up pretty quickly because I started just kind of, I'm a little type A, and I just kind of started taking control of things.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay, you're just in charge.
Yeah.
But he very much was from day one, it was very much, I don't care who you are, I care what you do.
Mhm.
And that's what it really comes down to at Raider.io is, do you love this game? Do you
Mhm.
like the people around you? Do you treat them with respect?
Mhm.
And do you do a good, do you care about your job? Do you care about the people around you? And if you do, you belong here.
Mhm.
And if you don't, I will have a meeting with you,
Mhm.
and you will not enjoy said meeting.
Yes.
But it's and then I think that's I'm sorry, I'm taking over a lot of time here, I'm rambling
No,
a little
go
bit,
for
but
it.
I think a lot of it really comes down to, in a leadership position, either as a guild leader, a raid leader, general manager of a company, is I need to earn their respect, not by my position, but by how I treat everyone around me.
Mhm.
And I don't say I'm the GM, therefore you respect me. It's I
Mhm.
will treat you with respect, I will treat you well, I will care about you, I will care about the work you do, I will set expectations for you, and I will expect you to meet those expectations.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I will work with you to meet those expectations. I will
Mhm.
say, I always say to everyone that works at Raider.io, is my job is to make sure you have the tools and resources you need to do your job.
Mhm.
That is literally my job,
Mhm.
is to make sure everything goes well. I need to make sure the people that report to me can do their jobs.
Yeah.
Same thing as a guild leader, as a raid leader. If I'm not providing you the tools that you need
Mhm.
to perform well in this guild, to execute the mechanics, and to have a good, respectful time doing so, I'm not creating that culture.
Yeah.
So that needs to be my job, is to make sure you have what you need to enjoy your time here and do well.
Yeah. That's so good. And that's what Fox said,
No, it's
signs
hard.
of a good boss. Yes, 100%. 100%. I think people feel very unsteady with uncertain expectations. Like, it's the worst thing. I've seen very well-intentioned people that have surrendered their backbone for the sake of like public niceties. Like, they don't want to rock the boat, so they're like, they meant well. I'm like, everybody is not trying to rain on anybody else's parade. Most everybody is operating with the best intentions that you can expect. Some people, yes, they're a little antisocial. They want to rock the boat. They want to ruin the thing. And, they're fewer than we think. the people who mess up or that don't do well usually do it on accident or because they were ill-equipped. And so I love what you said, where it's like, okay, I'm going to make sure people have what they need in terms of expectations, in terms of resources, in terms of knowledge, so that they can, you know, adequately do the thing. I think part of the challenge when it comes to the, you know, the dynamic of being a woman in gaming and things like that is there are now certain pockets of conversations like this where it's like, okay, well, how do you know who does it right? What do you want? How do you want to be treated? And I feel like initially, if somebody, I have had people that have been like, okay, like, how can we support women in this game? How can we support, you know, women that are our friends? And I'm like, genuinely, for me, who's literally, this is my job to help people articulate certain things in their own lives. I'm like, I genuinely don't know until I experience it. And kind of what Aimee was saying, like, I enjoy not looking like some sort of mythical alien that nobody knows how to talk to. Like, that's great. If you can, like, look at my eyes and speak to me in English, then I think we can figure it out. Even if you start spitting some bars in Spanish or Russian, I can make sense of it. But yeah. Oh, look at the kitty.
Oh,
She's like, I'm out, actually.
yeah.
A little cameo.
She's not here for this.
But yeah, I think it's tough to nail down. Can you put your tinfoil hat on for me, please? Yeah, literally, Muffin Man. But I think it's like we're either a threat or we're a unicorn, like, and a prize to be collected. And I'm like, I don't want to be that, you know. Well, no, let me disclaim, I want to be a trophy wife for Mr. Sparey. Mr. Sparey can treat me like a unicorn, a prize. He could show me off and make me feel just like this pretty dainty thing that makes his life better, and that's fine. Nobody else gets to put me in that position. Nobody else gets to put me in that role in their life. I literally built a life with him and walked down an aisle and said vows and said this is for life, and that was my consent right there. But Corey, you're insane. Corey's
the gory emote that I have.
Literally, I know. But yeah, I think that it's refreshing, even an exchange like that. Like, I think as relationships get a little bit, I don't know, more meaningful, you get to know somebody a little bit more, you are allowed to talk to people in a way that you, like, just the general public doesn't get to speak with you. And I think that is something that throws a monkey wrench in the gendered conversations or the gendered roles that we're in. Because for men, it's easy to have this camaraderie of, like, bros, right? But I think back to the social conditioning of it all and the things that we learn in our society and in our culture is, like, women are supposed to be protected or treasured or pursued. They're not just friends. And so the scaffolding by which that relationship is built is very different. And I think that that's something that can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. So yeah, I'm wondering, like, if there have been, I can think of pretty much every guy that has been in this chat that's in our shared communities that, you know, I've had the pleasure of interacting with. Like, there aren't any that I've really struggled with. I know that, again, I have my husband on stream with me quite often, so I think that there is a little bit of protection there for me. But I know, Sam, even though you literally stream with Tyler on with you, I've been in chat when people have said some crazy things to you. So, and I've seen you handle it, and you handle it beautifully. You're just like, well, you know, like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna be timed out. Like, you wouldn't come here and say that to my face. Like, it's very strange that you would want to say that to me, you know, in stream. But tell me more about, like, how to navigate that and what you've done, and if there's anything additionally that you and Tyler have talked about offline. Like, I've had to talk to Mr. Sparey about, like, how do we as a team how are we deciding to handle things if they get crazy in chat?
Yeah.
And I know that obviously like now Joe is more present in your streams as well, like even on screen, but specifically Sam, I've seen you do this in action, so tell me more about that.
I mean, I think it just comes down to the type of person that I am. Like, it takes a lot for somebody to actually frustrate me and like get under my skin, and for me to actually be like skeeved out, because I have heard everything under the sun, being a woman and the way that I look personally. And so like if people come in and they start being creepy, like I usually, my rule is 3. You say it one time, okay, you said your thing, you moved on. Like, I'm not gonna hold it against you. Maybe you were testing the waters, whatever. If you do it 2 more times, you are gone. Like, I don't take any BS with it anymore, especially even if I wasn't married. Like, you shouldn't do that to anybody, right? Whether you know they're married, they're in a relationship, they're single, whatever. You shouldn't approach people and like pretend to be one of those like mating birds, and you start doing your little dance and going back and forth, and you're like trying to see,
let me get your attention.
What I'm yeah, exactly, like trying to see what I react to.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of like what have Tyler and I talked about, it's just he is obviously my main mod, because he's usually here when I'm playing and stuff like that, and I have like I'll signal him if there's somebody to really like get rid of. But I've even had to have the conversation with him, like, is there stuff that makes you uncomfortable? Because some people have come in and said things about Tyler, and I'm like, oh thank God it's not me. And I'm like you need to set your boundary too, because it might not be your channel, but your face is still on there, and you can be just as uncomfortable as I can be. But you have to let people know where your line is, because if you just let them come in and keep saying things and you don't ever do anything about it, they're gonna see that as acceptance, and that they can just keep coming back and do the same thing, and nothing will happen to them ever. But again, like I truly think I am a no BS person, and I go from like 0 to 60 very quick. Like I'm the mellowest person, and then I could switch it off and find out where you live, find out who you are, where you work, and
I will bloodhound your life.
I will go full Taken mode.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just my experience with it.
Yeah. I am interested in what helps all of you keep loving the game despite the negativity.
Oh, community.
You guys.
Yeah.
It's
like I
the
wouldn't
good
have
eggs.
stopped.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have stopped playing if I had never found people. I wouldn't have ever stopped playing. Like I would still play to this day, but I think I have the desire to play so much because of people. I can log in and just say, "Hey guys," and people respond to me, and you know, I can talk with you guys all on your Discord channels and just like this as well, and that just keeps me wanting to come back in a different. Even if I lost you guys all tomorrow, I still would keep that in my mind every time I logged in.
I think I'll also like on top of the community, it's like for me personally, it's the drive. For those who don't know, I was terrified of in-game content for several years, because I unfortunately was with an asshat who constantly told me that I was bad, partly because of being a woman. So there's this drive, and I know Sparey kind of touched on it at the beginning of constantly setting the bar a little bit higher every season. It's almost like my way of like healing a part of myself that I lost years ago, of being that in-game content player again, and getting to that point. Like this season we're pushing CE for the first time. Last season I hit 3K for the first season, which was a massive achievement, because I almost threw it out the window because of pugs, but you know, we pushed forward. But it's that drive and that push is almost to prove to myself that I can do it. Like I know I can. And then also it helps to have that amazing community that we're all surrounded with, that many of us are, to help kind of get us to those goals. And then also the dance parties are are awesome. And yes, Corey, I remember that floodgate with that warlock that wouldn't stop pinging everything. And I was confused as to why they were pinging mobs when we had percentage.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah.
It's Probably similar to me. It's mostly community. I, I started really playing WoW as an escape, and
Mm-hmm.
it became a safe space for me.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned in my old career, obviously, things have lovingly taken a turn. Is that part of me had to be separate,
Mm-hmm.
and this was the place where I felt I could actually be who I am. I
Yeah.
could be myself. Um, I when I grew up, I'm not that old, but like, you know, we didn't have the internet as much as everyone does now. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was in high school, not everyone had home internet, not everyone had home computer, right? It was kind of,
Yeah.
this wasn't really there. So you identified yourself with other stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had an identity, which was I was a softball player.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I was. Up until maybe 25-ish around there, if you asked me, like, oh, what do you do? I would say I'm a ball player.
Yep.
I won national championships. I played at college. Like I played at a very high level,
Mm.
and that was just who I was. But then it was this weird thing where outside of that, who am I? And I realized I'm a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this
Mm-hmm.
world, and I love
Yeah.
that I can do this. But like in that other world, I couldn't tell people that. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be this
Yeah.
unhinged person that's just like, no, pull more packs. Like, I couldn't be that person. So I loved that I had a place where I could be that, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that feeling has always stuck with me. Even though now I can be my full self at all times.
Yeah.
The game has always had that for me. So there's a little bit of nostalgia for me. This game and I have been through a lot together.
Yeah.
Um, in 20 plus years, and that's one reason I keep playing. Number two, honestly, I just enjoy the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, like the community and all that, I just love the game. Like I love
Yep.
logging in and fell rushing and I-beaming
Yes.
and pulling all
Yes.
these packs and doing dells and raids and like all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I think another reason is it's something I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all get enjoyment out of performing well and succeeding and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And so it's
Yeah.
something I've always felt comfortable with my performance and what I can do in the game. Whereas we've probably all felt that. Like I'll go play a different game, like go play League of Legends. I'm like, I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
This isn't as fun
Yeah.
for me, right? Like I'm bad. What is Vision? I don't know. And so then I'll go back to Warcraft because it just feels right.
Yeah.
Um, but then but then I will obviously the community is the biggest part. Like as I said, I met my husband on this game.
Mm-hmm.
I've met so many friends in this game.
Mm-hmm.
My current guild, Dayglow, is the best vibes ever. It is a really welcoming space.
Yeah.
It's casual. Like there's no. I will admit every now and then, because I do come from a higher rating background, where I'll be like, not everyone here is going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I have to accept that, and I
Yeah.
do. But every now and then I'm like, died to that mechanic 18 times now. Maybe we try something else.
How about we
So,
try
like,
looking with our eyes this time? Okay.
I have. Also, I will admit, part of me is like, no, just shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That's not the guild you're in now. But I will take that, in stride to have the vibes of this guild, because this is a very good home for me. But every now and then I'm like, no, don't say anything, don't say it.
Yeah. Fox
I'm
said,
interested too, but, like,
how about we try turning on our monitor?
that might be good advice.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I keep coming back. It's just a fantastic game when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
The community that we've built around it is so much fun, and I have a lot of great memories. And it's just been a place for me to be myself.
Yeah, I think that the beautiful thing about WoW is there's so many things now for anybody. Like it can be a cozy game, it can be a competitive game, it can be it can be an MMO RPG, like the way that people accuse it of not being anymore. Like you can
Right.
slow down, and there are 4 different iterations of the game out currently that are available to people. Like there's so many different facets within one version of it, and if that's not enough, well, guess what, you've got a few others. So I just think that it's a beautiful thing, and I had made a post about this, but back to the nostalgia thing, it's cool because like the way that your brain, your memory center, stores the memories of Azeroth, it stores them as real places that you lived through. So this is like truly like where you have had periods of your life. It's just such a cool thing. It's comforting. And yeah, I think there are so many things that make me feel naive from time to time, but I refuse to give up being hopeful, I think. And for every mouth breather on the internet that decides to be a little spicy because they're frustrated and they're in their lizard brain, there are 10 more incredible people that immediately flood in to drown out their words. Like, I remember one time I think I do not get a lot of like hate messages or anything, or just even ignorant messages, but one time somebody was like, isn't WoW too complicated for a woman or something like that? And literally, I didn't even have to say anything. Chat just did it. They were just like, like immediately are just like, and my husband, hats off to him. He said, "Didn't you know that complicated is a woman's territory?" And I was just like, literally, yeah. I'm surprised it's not too. Anyway, but I also am a firm believer that like part of the work that I do is trying to see the. Lola, it's okay. Stop. I'm trying to talk to you. Come here. I think a lot of what I do is like trying to see the vulnerabilities that everybody has. And I know I've said it before that like all of the oppositional people on the internet are just inner toddlers. They just need their uppies, and that's why they're acting out. They are not acting like an adult with well-adjusted behaviors or emotions. They just need a little help. And if this is for anybody, if you're a streamer, if you are somebody that is playing the game, I know that energy doesn't belong in every community. The Sparey Squad, I have it intentionally so people can practice being better. So if you have somebody who's just kind of a douche, send them to me. I don't care. Like, if they are willing to listen, I will talk with them. If they can't understand why nobody can get along with them, I would love to help them and genuinely get to know them and understand why their survival instincts are putting people at arm's length. You know, maybe you didn't realize it's okay to say certain things, or, you know, like, we don't know until somebody teaches us. And I think that, you know, there have been a lot of really great teachers in my life that have helped me understand things like this, you know, and I can probably say the same for you three as well, and as many people in chat. But yeah, people aren't gonna do better unless somebody's willing to teach them that there is better. You know, they're just like, this is a standard. People are terrible to each other on the internet. What do you mean? We have to be nice? Like, we have to be respectful?
Yeah.
That sounds like, yeah, like it's possible actually to have fun and mutually respectful. Absolutely. So they just won't know until they know. We're coming down to the last like 15 minutes of this. I just first off want to thank you guys for your time. I think this has been an awesome conversation. And there's one more question that I want to finalize this whole conversation with. And that's, if a girl is watching this and wondering, do I belong in gaming? Do I belong in WoW? What would you want to tell her?
Yes. You belong in WoW. Women have been involved in WoW before WoW with Warcraft. I mean,
yeah.
Look at the strong female characters that we have that have only gotten better since. I mean, like, I 100% looked up to Sylvanas for a long time, and Alex Straza, and they've gotten more depth and beauty, and so have the women playing the game. So yes, you belong here.
Yeah, wonderfully put. Do you guys have something to add? Sam, Hula, aspiring gamers, or other people that,
My answer is unequivocally yes. You belong. It doesn't matter who you are. I guess I would turn that to that person is, do you think a man is sitting here going, do I belong in this game?
Yeah. That part. Yes.
You know, and they'll know, then why are you asking? Because you have every right to be here and deserve to be here, and this game is for everyone. Every game is for everyone.
Yes. You don't need permission.
And yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't need permission to play this game. You just need $15 a month.
Yeah, literally.
I mean,
That's it.
Your money's just as green or purple or red. I mean, I'm kidding. And the next guys. So yeah, no, it's yes, unequivocally yes. But then ask yourself why you're even asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I would say the answer isn't, do you belong here? It's, are you going to have fun here?
Yeah.
And it's, just because you can go somewhere and just because you should be able to be there or join there, you may not have fun there. So, I can walk into a room that I could be in, but I might not like the conversations going on in there. So it's just a matter of, you have to actually try it. And yes, it takes, potentially blocking out some hate and getting through those rough patches. But at the end of the day, are you having fun? Is it something that you're actually enjoying? And if it's not, then don't play.
Yeah.
It's not about you belonging. Is it a place you want to be? That's
such a good reframe. And I think that goes for the things to be doing in WoW too. Do you have fun doing this? I definitely was having, I don't know if anybody else deals with like imposter syndrome or just trying to like keep the heat off of yourself. I think from the idea that you have to be perfect, you have to perform very highly. But I was really excited this season because, a few seasons back, I would tank for raid and for dungeons and stuff. And then last year, I kind of was like, I don't know, like, this other person in my guild is better than me, and so for the better, like, it just because it would be better for the group. It wouldn't take as long for us to figure things out. They wouldn't have to be patient with me. The heat wouldn't be on me, so to speak. I'll defer to him and I'll let him tank and I'll swap my roles and I'll just do DPS and all of that stuff. But this tier, I did have that same feeling. There are a couple people who are really good at what they do and they've tanked for a really long time and they're experienced and they're fantastic. But that's what I love to do in this game. Like, I genuinely love tanking so much. And I was like, I'm not gonna get better at this if I keep on taking myself out of that role. Like, nobody asked me to step out of it. It was literally just like, oh, I should let somebody more proficient at this do this. And this season I didn't do that. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick it out, and there are things that are challenging and there are keys like we had last night that I'm like, thank God I'm running with friends that are patient and are kind and are telling me like, hey, by the way, maybe do something completely not what you're doing right now. Because like that's kindness, like that's friendship. And I think that I was the only one taking myself out of the running. I think sometimes there are people who try to push you out, but I think because of the instinct sometimes we remove ourselves too. So I think any advice that I would share is like, along with what Sam said, make sure that this is something that you actually have fun doing, that you don't feel like you have to do. There were certain things that I did when I was younger that I was like, oh, I'm just going to do this because all the boys do this and I'm going to be better than the boys at it. Like, I'm going to skateboard and I'm going to do archery and I'm going to go hunting and I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but like, do I have fun? Like, I remember my last time hunting ever, it was -6. I was in a tree stand with my brother and I was like, this sucks. This freaking sucks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to drag I don't want to drag a deer through the woods. I don't want to have to do all of that. I don't want to sit in the freezing cold. I'm actually totally good on that, dog. I don't need to do this anymore. So same goes for anything in the gaming stratosphere. I think make sure you're having fun. Don't take yourself out of the running. Because that's just, you think it'd be more convenient for anybody. But yeah, any final words, any final thoughts, anything that we hadn't covered that you just want to leave people with to think about, to consider, or any final plugs? Let people know how to find you on socials as well. Just to finish this bad boy off. I'm gonna start in the same order too, so Aimee, if you would go first.
Final thoughts. You did not prepare us for this one, Sparey. You
Sorry.
prepared us to go for nerd.
Sorry.
And at the
I
end-
didn't think about it. If you need a pass, we could pass, but
No, I'm not going to pass. First, I'll start off with you can find me, Aimee LaHoo, on everywhere. I'm the same everywhere, except for BNet, because they gave us beautiful 4 numbers at the end of our tags.
They did.
But I guess my last thing is, don't ever let anyone like dampen that flame. If you love WoW, play WoW, and do it in a stinking hot outfit. If anyone tells you that you have too feminine of an outfit, just be like, whatever. Like, I'm gonna slay these monsters with my butterfly wings.
Yep.
It's why I have them on every raid night, because it's ironic and hilarious. Also, it sheaths my blades away, and I don't see them, and I can't wait for that update to change on April 21st.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like just play the game how you want it. I think WoW is beautiful in the sense is that it has so many subgenres in one game. Do whatever you want. If someone tells me you're playing the game wrong, you just look to them and you just say, "You don't pay my sub."
Real. If you're not paying for me to play, don't tell me how to play.
And girls, remember that. Ladies, remember that. If he's not paying your, actually, even if he is paying your sub, it's your mouse and keyboard. So too bad, so sad.
It's my time.
I'm just going. So. No, he would never tell me how to play this. But yes, that's my closing argument. My final words.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like it too. Hula, how about for you?
I would say a couple things. Something you actually touched on yourself, Sparey, is, we're all gonna get comments that are emotionally triggering, negative, hate. For every bad comment, every good one shines out 2 times more. And you said yourself, like in your stream, you had someone who said something completely inappropriate and chat just jumped on them. And I want people to know, if you're that person and you have the ability just to make that good comment or to reverse that, it has a bigger impact than you probably know. Please don't eat that wrapper. You're a cat. And just really quick, so for those of you that don't know, I was just recently on the racial first for Team Liquid. I did the small little Raider recaps in the evening, and I was very apprehensive about doing this. I casted the racial first a number of tiers ago for Echo during COVID, and Pieces and Aversion, and my experience was both good and bad. The very first day I casted for Echo, I was super excited to do so. I was pumped. I was ready. I did so much research. And I saw a comment in chat that said, "She's so fat, I hope she dies."
Oh my god.
And that was not the only comment of the like that I got. And I will say emotionally, like, ow, that hurts, right? But there I had to, and so after that I didn't look at chat, but then every now and then I would, and there'd be some comments, but every time that happened, 10 people came to my defense. And every time that happened, it made it worthwhile for me to keep going. And I also, would logically have that rationale. Like, if someone sees me on camera and they've never seen me before in my life, they don't know anything about me, they don't know who I am, and they feel this compulsion to write that out and hit enter with their whole adult chest, and they think that this is a good thing to say, there is something fundamentally wrong with that person. And I have to come to that realization that it's not me, it's them. And again, like, my weight makes me an easy target. I'm aware, like, oh my god, she's so, like, no shit, like, I have a mirror and eyes. But I then realized I would watch the other streams, and Aya, Makes, Nagura, they are objectively gorgeous women. Like, they are beautiful women, and they would get so much shit too. But it would be different. It would be like, oh, who's that slut on the broadcast, right? She must be sleeping with all the players.
Literally.
And I would see this and I go, it is not because of my weight or what I look like. It is because I am a woman, I am successful, and how dare I, right? And I had to come to that realization that this is why. And you know, it's one of those things where you sit there logically, you're having this discussion with yourself, but it still hurts.
Mhm.
But then every time I would see these comments, or there were a couple times where I wasn't on shift, and I would just be watching, and I would see people go, "Where's Hula? When's Hula on
Mhm.
next?" And the just that one brief positive comment made me realize that I can do this and it's worthwhile,
Mhm.
and it made me want to keep going.
Heck
So I
yeah.
guess that's my kind of takeaway from this is there's going to be bad actors out there. There always will be. There will always
Mhm.
be negativity, but if you can inject just a little bit of positivity, you will change someone's life.
Yeah. You
So,
never know. Say the thing. I've been in that position where it's like, "Oh, I feel like some of you may have gotten messages like this from me before, but like sometimes people will just be on my mind and I'm like, "Oh, like I don't know what it is, but now I always will reach out to them, be like, I know it's kind of weird. You are on my mind. I just want to let you know I'm grateful to know you. And I think that I think that you're great. And, I'm glad to, whatever it is, whatever the general kind word is. And I'm like, I get in my brain because I'm like, who am I that I think that they need this from me? It's not that at all. I just don't ever want to go and feel regret for not saying the kind thing. Um, I think Amy's smiling. I think you probably have had messages like this from me before. There have been a couple.
How many times have I cried at work because Sparey sent me a message? Countless. Or the Sparey moment TikToks where I'm in the
I'm
parking
so
lot of my
sorry.
doctor's office, and I'm
Yeah.
like, cool. Now I have to
Yeah.
go and explain to them that my friend.
Yeah. There are so many. Let me tell you, as a therapist, one of the things that I'm learning about hearing the insight to people's worlds is, first of all, there's way more than anybody lets on. And I know that, like, logically we know, like, oh yeah, there's a story behind every face. No, like, legitimately, you have no idea who is going home to be assaulted every night. You have no idea who's driving around with $2 in their pocket and they're trying to figure out how to feed their kids. You have no idea who is surviving on WoW because their actual life is complete hell. Like, you have no idea the depth of true despair people experience, and those little things that you say truly are tethers to getting to the next day and the next day and the next day. And if you can just get people to recognize, oh, somebody noticed me and I'm not a nuisance and they're not saying mean things, and they're, like Hula said, they're looking forward to seeing me, they like the things that I'm contributing. Like, it is healing to people as individuals, but to us as a society as well. And heck yeah, I stand on it. Say the kind thing. Before
it's
I,
not hard to be nice.
yes,
It's really not.
it's free. It's literally free. It
It is
costs
free
you
to say a nice
nothing.
thing.
It costs you nothing. But yes, Sam, finish us off strong, girl. Final words, where to find you.
No pressure.
Oh, Hula, where can we find you on socials? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you can find me at Raider.io. I'm kidding. No, I don't
period,
stream.
though.
Shameless company plug.
Yeah, I don't stream. But Twitter at Hula Hoop C with a Y, because at Hula Hoops was taken
Oh.
by a chip company.
Oh, how dare they?
Nice.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
the hula hoops in the UK are like a corn chip.
Oh, well, the
Huh.
more you know. The more you know.
Yeah. So Hula Hoop C with a Y for both Twitter and Twitch. But other
Okay.
than that, just yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Sam, on to you, my friend.
Right. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Just a couple things. So, like, this is taken from like my perspective as to, like, given how long I've been gaming, games I've played, and then making content, and it's something I've also learned in my professional life is that angry people are the loudest. Like,
Yes.
quiet or happy people,
Mhm.
they might like leave you a good review on your business on Google Business, but they're not necessarily going to call you up and tell you what a good job you did and leave these glowing recommendations for you. It's always when something goes wrong that people speak the loudest about it, and that's why it seems that there's always so many angry people out there. It's just because they're the ones we're hearing. We're not
Yep.
hearing the happy people.
Yep.
So when you have people come into your chats or write messages on your posts or anything, just keep that in the back of your mind that, like, maybe this person's having a bad day. We have no idea what happened. Maybe their Dunkin' coffee spilled on the sidewalk. Like,
Yep.
we don't know necessarily what's giving into it. And let's just, if it continues to happen, we'll address it. But everybody needs, you know, a moment to vent and get that frustration and anger out. It's not always personal. And that sounds like such a customer service training guide right there.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah, it is
And
true.
It's just unfortunately the reality of it. But if you are having somebody continually do it, I would just say take that negativity as fuel. If somebody is saying you're an awful player, well, that's going to fuel me to become a better player, even if I don't necessarily need to. Like, it's going to drive me to, well, you said I can't do it, so I'm going to do it now. And especially I'm that person naturally. It's like every, you know, you tell me not to touch the button, I'm going to touch the button. So it just, it makes me just want to be a better person. And then my other piece of advice is branch out. Like, I regret playing solo and being a hermit crab for so long of my life, not just in WoW, like in life too. Like, I never really had friends until now. So like, don't be afraid to like, yeah, like, put yourself out there and I guess shoot your shot, but it can genuinely change the way you view everything in this world and the way things make you feel when you know that there are people supporting you just as much as you're supporting them. So those are my thoughts. And then SCF plays everywhere.
Yes. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think it's very important to do the thing afraid. I've said this multiple times on stream, but talking about shooting your shot, saying the kind thing, all of these things. One of my favorite quotes is speak up even if your voice shakes. Like, it does not matter. You do not have to prove to anybody anything, but your insight matters, and your kindness matters, and the things you have to contribute to this world matters, both virtually and IRL. So guys, thank you so very much for this conversation. I've been wanting to get back into this. Life has been super crazy, and this was just a really refreshing way to get back into the waters of content and things like that. And I've been wanting to have this conversation since Sam's huge, you know, Women's Month collab, which was incredible. I don't know if you saw that, Hula, but there was how many? 16 different female streamers, I think.
Oh my god, I would think it was closer to 20.
20? Yeah, there was a lot.
We raised so much money to give to the winners. Like, we had
I was lurking a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
I'm a lurker.
So much fun. It was so much fun, and I love that. There's things that we could say all day, but just to finish this conversation off strong, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Make sure that, you know, you guys are continuing to share more about what your stories are like. Please follow all of my friends. They are here for a reason. There are many incredible women that I've had the privilege of knowing, but yeah, these guys are real ones, and they're awesome, and they're willing to have a conversation about just anything in game or out of game. I hope you enjoyed the Sparey session. If you'd like to join us live, follow me on Twitch and add to future conversations. Talk soon. Thanks again for all your support.